And what has found itself darkening my door? You are much too far up the mountain to be lost, little one. These lands are treacherous, not for your kind. A mere slip of your footing spelling all but certain doom. A tragic and unfitting end for a young man. Yet, despite that, here you stand, albeit barely. Even from here my eyes see the shaking of your legs and the heave of your breast. Here you stand, beyond the threshold of my private sanctum, interrupting my peaceful evening inn with a novel and a bottle from my reserve. I wonder, what purpose does one such as you have in a place like this? I rarely entertain guests, and those who do visit are known to me, where you are not. Your scent is pleasant, yet unfamiliar. A stranger to my domain, arriving at the entrance to my lair, is too specific to be an accident. Perhaps a trespasser, or maybe a gentleman caller. Do try not to speak out of turn, little human. I decide what you are once you step within my lair, and currently you are the object of my interest, but that can very quickly shift into annoyance. So you shall explain yourself, and take heed not to ramble, as I have other tasks to attend to. Come, sit with me. I shall play the part of the host, and offer you some respite from your journey. Here, this type of brandy was bottled 400 years ago, in a country far to the east of here. I quite enjoyed it at the time, and it has only gotten more exquisite as time flows. Be cautious, however. It does have quite a burn, but it should take the chill from your bones. Does it not sit well, little human? Perhaps it is a bit much for you. Shall we browse my collection for something more delicate to suit your palate? Ah, but business before pleasure. The evening is young, and leaves plenty of time to fraternize after concluding your business with me this night. You come bearing your village's offering. I assume then that the previous leader of your village has passed. That is a shame. I do not know if you were close, but you and your people have my condolences. And so now they send you, a young man, an admittedly quite lovely one, to make your yearly offering. I suppose I am willing to overlook you barging into my lair, but alas, we shall see if you continue to interest me. Even a pretty thing can quickly become overbearing. Now, present your tribute, little human. I do enjoy a good joke, so do not think me a bore. But in these matters I care not for the antics of jesters. By the sound alone I can tell this is a mere pittance of your village's agreed upon sum. Have you lost the rest of your offering as you pitifully climbed my mountain, your very footsteps betraying you? Each breath you took a robbery, a crime against me. No, that's not it. You seem shocked as well. Look into my eyes, little human. Tell me, and be truthful. Do not sully your tongue with lies, lest it fall from your mouth. Is this all you were given for my tribute? You are not lying. Your beautiful eyes dart about, yet are not tainted with treachery. I see. So that's how it must be. Your previous leader, Reiner, I believe his name was, he was a wise man, unusually so for a human. He and I had an agreement, one that I made with his predecessor, and the one before that, and so on, and so on. An agreement as old as the stones that make up your walls, and the trees that you felled to build your homes with. I allow your people to live upon my land. I protect them. My claws rend the dangers that lurk within the mountains, keeping them outside of your walls, so that you can leave your doors unlocked. My wings direct the wind that turns your windmills, so you might have grain to sell and feed yourselves. My breath melts the snow that feeds the rivers you fish and drink from. In all of this, I ensure that you prosper. And what do I ask in compensation for the life I have provided? I ask only that you share of the bounty that I give to you, that once a year, at the end of the harvest season, the little village in the shadow of my mountain pays tribute to the one who has toiled to make its life possible. And you have brought this, well, frankly an insult for all the work I have put into you. It would seem that your new leader believes that keeping coin for himself is more worthwhile than investing it in his people's future. As if that isn't enough, in addition, he has sent you upon the long and dangerous trek to climb my mountain and stand before me. Such a lovely young man, to act as the bearer of bad news, rather than to come himself and make known his decision, no doubt to try and soften the blow. It takes either unbridled bravery, or perhaps more accurately, foolishness, to insult me and display cowardice with but a single action. This cannot be allowed to stand. I refuse to suffer such pig-headed tomfoolery at the hands of those I have uplifted from the dirt. What am I going to do? Nothing too drastic, little human. Only what was agreed upon. Your people believe that they no longer require my assistance to sustain their lives. So, I will simply remind them of what life can be like without my interference. Hush. Don't be ridiculous, boy. I would not let them perish. I am a ruler, not a mindless beast bent on spite. I shall not take my hands off the reins, merely let them drift a bit, and let your fellows wring their hands for a year. Then, once harvest season has ended, I will offer my gracious deal once again at the original sum, with interest, of course, assuming that they have learned from their obvious mistake. They will happily agree. Of course, an insult can be forgiven easily enough, but should never be forgotten. The price of foolishness must be felt for a few generations, passed down from parent to child. It is simply the way humans learn. You are unconvinced. A frown mars your beautiful face. Well, what would you have me do were you in my stead? I cannot simply continue on with our bargain without this insult being contested. It is at best a stubborn refusal of my aid, and at worst, an implication that I do bad work. What is the human saying for this situation? Ah, yes, you get what you pay for. They have given minimal tribute, so in turn, they get minimal effort on my part. One claw sharpens the other. There's a draconic saying for you. You seem rather intent on getting your way. Your devotion to your people is admirable, little human. Under different circumstances, I might have rewarded you vigorously for such bravado. Very well, I shall entertain this a bit. Since you have decided to speak on behalf of your village, what are you offering me to make up the rest of your tribute? No, no, no. I didn't ask what the village could offer. I asked what you are giving me for my cooperation. What could make up the difference? Some coin from your personal wealth? Your quaint little homestead? Or are you perhaps thinking of offering yourself to me? You look surprised. My kind instinctually seeks out things of value. Gold and gems are the wealth of the earth, but they are a fragment of the larger whole. We collect grand works of expression and art, fill our libraries with some of the greatest of the written word, and occasionally we find interesting humans and desire them. I find myself drawn to you in this way. I want to possess you, to place my claim upon you, to help you with your tribute. One payment at a time, or as many as you can bear. Take care when acting so bashful, little human. Your blush ignites me within in such a delicious way. Meet my gaze, little human. Shall you offer yourself to me? Become my treasure. Wonderful. Consider this your down payment. Exquisite. I'd prefer to do this properly, so I'll restrain my primal desires for now. Accompany me to the baths, my treasure. Your journey was long, so I shall soothe your body and relax your spirit. Then we shall retire for the evening. We'll both need rest for what lies ahead. Are we enjoying the view? You startle so suddenly, my treasure. Have I surprised you? You've nearly jumped out of your skin, poor dear. I meant no ill will. It must have slipped my mind that typical human perception isn't enough to notice my presence when warded. Do feel free to continue. I was simply enraptured with watching you gaze upon the land. Such beautiful eyes idling over the horizon, lost in thought. Yet, I can sense that you are maintaining a sense of intent. It's such an interesting look. I wonder how delightful it would feel to have it cast upon me in the moments before just looking was not enough and became touching and enjoying. There is that blush that I always seem to yearn for. Does my affection light something within you, treasure? I'm only teasing for now. All the same, it is a bit nostalgic. That look reminds me of the one that I wore when I was much younger, back when these lands were untamed and masterless. It was only a few centuries ago that what you lay your eyes upon was dense wilderness, a natural land with nary a speck of civilization, let alone a warden to watch over it. I must commend you for your choice in vistas, as I used to come to this very outlook every evening to watch the sun fall and enjoy the fruits of my day's labors. Much has changed under my rule. The very mountains and forests bent to suit my will, and yet the one thing that I cared not to change was the view. It is a rather breathtaking one, is it not? And now I can indulge in the rare occurrence of sharing this sight with another soul. I would be delighted for you to stand at my side and for us to watch it together, to see the moon rise once more upon these mountains and valleys, its light showing the domain that I have claimed as mine, and all that has been cultivated in my decades of work towards the vision I have for it. From the lightning-wreaked summits of the bronze tops that catch the very thorns of the heavens, down to the fjords and lowlands where your people have built their homes and prospered with the bounty I provide. This is the realm of Arsenex, the warden in silver, a paradise in progress, smithed with my own hands, and with enough time, I hope that it will prove worthy to join the enclave of embers, so that I may once more be among my kin. It has been far too long since I have seen the white gold peaks of my homeland. However, there is still time yet for those goals to be met, so enjoying the sights of a growing dream is a grand way to spend an evening, although perhaps it is merely the beginning of a pleasant night between us. However, while we speak on the subject of our relationship, I have the notion that you did not climb to this point to admire the scenery. I notice that your mind is elsewhere. The horizon you gaze longingly towards is the resting place of the village you journeyed from. You long for your home, do you not? For the simple life that you have known at that little village in the distance, following in the footsteps of those who came before you, working the land by till or axe or pick, building a life for yourself that perhaps eventually you would share with another who captured your heart before growing old and passing all that you have learned to the next generation in the hopes that they would prosper as well. That vision you have created for yourself and worked hard to achieve has been changed in a way that you could not have foreseen, and I understand that you might feel cheated out of the life that you wish to have. Unknowingly bearing a burden that your fellows placed upon you, and climbing up to my mountain. You were sent here with a meager tribute, a betrayal that you were meant to deliver and bear what was to be my wrath. Thankfully, it didn't come to that, as you took it upon yourself to pay the difference that your leader sought to keep for himself. You showed loyalty to the lives of your people and great wisdom in that sacrifice. I must admit that I have not met a human like you in a very long time. You've impressed me by putting others before yourself. Yet another aspect of you that I find fascinating. Yet despite that, the immutable fact is that you were forced to pay for a wrongdoing not your own, and serving a sentence based on another's arrogance, taken from all that you knew and placed in this strange place. My lair is a lavish palace of elaborate finery, art and architecture alike from all over the world decorate my halls. Great triumphs of man and beast immortalized in text within my libraries, and my coffers swell with wealth, whose depths put many a human kingdom to shame. Yet, you might see these as little more than the trappings of a gilded cage, ultimately perks to what some might consider an imprisonment. After all, I believe your people have many stories about my kind abducting and keeping certain humans as prizes to be won. A simple interpretation, though I seem to recall that princesses are who we are said to prefer, and yet I chose you. A simple villager held my eye in a way that none had before. You're quite the diamond in the rough. And these stories usually end with a gallant knight being sent to slay us and save the poor maiden from our beastly urges. As with all things, there are certain inaccuracies, though I suppose human stories require a bit of embellishing to retain interest. So I wish to make the situation clear to you, to avoid any misinterpretation. Alas, there's some truth to your stories. Dragons do take interest in specific humans from time to time, and occasionally claim them as their own. However, you are not my prisoner. Your presence here is strictly voluntary, and should you find staying in my lair distasteful, you are free to leave if you so desire. Did you believe that I was going to keep you here against your will and force you to become a concubine? I admit, the thought of dressing you in an adorable little outfit and having you call me master while serving my every whim does sound rather enticing. I only just treasure. Some of my kind might engage in such things, but I will respect your choices. Dragons are greedy. Avarice drives them to desire all that can be gained. But that does not necessarily mean we are selfish. It is truly your life to live, and to deprive you of it is a theft on a scale I am unwilling to partake in. The only thing that I wish to steal from you is a few kisses here and there, within reason, of course. Naturally, I've already made my interest in you known by now, and that interest goes much further than just the physical. While your body is wonderful to look at, and even more so to touch, it stirs a more bestial urge deep within me. However, it isn't the only thing I desire to breed with you. There are many opportunities here within my lair that could benefit you. A higher form of education than most colleges, worldly experience that spans the ages, all things that can be found here, and to say nothing of the pleasures of the flesh you can freely indulge in. I don't plan on just taking from you to sate my own desires. You are my treasure, so it is only natural to invest in you, and to want you to compound in value over time. Why, before you know it, you could be a capable scholar in a wide variety of topics, and such a person is a valuable asset to my domain, and beyond that, your prospects are bound to be fruitful. Alas, you have time to mull this over. Don't feel the need to rush towards an answer, and take time to examine what it is that you actually want. Come, let us retire into the lair for the evening. The mountain air carries a chill like an icy maw, and already my eyes see the tremor in your body. I'd prefer to cause you to shake in another way. I shall escort you to your chambers, or perhaps we can see our way towards mine. I can think of a few ways to warm you right up, if such a thing draws your interest. Marvelous. Follow me, treasure. It's not too far. Finally, I arrive in the safety and shelter of my lair. The dry air and the scent of home does wonders to soothe the body, a balm against the touch of the elements. The heavens have wept for days now. Their grief has hidden the grand light of the sun behind steel clouds that boil and writhe above the lands, stabbing down with fangs of fury and light. The downpour batters my domain, swelling the rivers to raging torrents that threaten to uproot the old-growth forest I have cultivated for centuries. With the ever-flowing hunger of floods, this cannot be allowed, not while these lands are mine to control. The mighty rivers and the furious skies will rage on, but they will not change what I have decreed this land to be. I am king of this realm, and no wrath that nature can muster will falter my vision. Rain and ice, wind and lightning, all will bend the knee to my will, if they dare to but exist in my domain. While I certainly mean that, I do feel a sense of relief to have my duties beyond the lair completed for the day. The gray skies that are hiding the warmth of the sun's rays do nothing to lift my spirits, instead battering them to and fro with icy gusts of what feels like bladed rain. My scales and willpower can endure all the ills of the present and future. However, I admit that settling into some more comfortable clothes and spending the rest of the night enjoying myself is certainly alluring. There is scarcely a better feeling for a ruler than to retire after a hard day's labor, back to his sanctum, his castle, the place where all he holds dear lies waiting for him to return once again. On that very subject, I wonder how my treasure fares in this terrible storm. I can only hope it does not damper his mood. My lair has more than enough finery to entertain one for all of their lives should they choose. But I shall freely agree that stepping into the bounty of nature improves a temperament like no other. Perhaps once this storm has left my lands, I can take him somewhere pleasant. The old growth is a personal favorite of mine. I imagine you would fancy a jaunt beneath its ancient boughs, and I would fancy to see how the sunlight filtered through the leaves would make him shine like gold, and we could enjoy ourselves while we play. If only this rain would cease. So heavy it falls that it's soaked into my clothes, despite this form not even being exposed. Quite a feat indeed. It carries such a chill. I suppose that before I can truly relax, I must do something about this. Greetings, my treasure. Sneaking into my quarters, are we? Were you hoping to surprise me after you've been waiting so long for me to return to you? Or perhaps you were hoping to catch a glimpse of me while I was changing out of these wet clothes? Is that the case? Naughty boy. I only jest, treasure. No need to blush. At least not yet. Indeed, you need only to ask to see my body, and I shall freely show you as much as you would like. I don't mean to tease you. Truly, I am overjoyed to see you again. Though I will say, it is certainly hard to still the mind with how incredible you look. You were already quite the stunning sight in those plain clothes you arrived in. Yet, with the addition of this fine dress, you have become such a regal picture. Delicate silks envelop your form and contour so deliciously to your shape. The eye cannot help but wander all over it. Ah, and the color. Red suits you well, my treasure. The bold crimson invokes a fiery passion that stokes one's desire. And these masterworks of jewelry you are clad in stand as a bold accent to a marvelous, completed ensemble. And yet, I cannot help but feel that they become mere trinkets when one simply beholds your eyes, beautiful as the rarest gemstones, and precious beyond all worth. I am so pleased to see you again, treasure. Oh, how the thought of you warmed me within the icy gales of the furious storm. Tell me, how are you coping with this unpleasant weather? I see. It is good to know that it hasn't worn on you just yet. I'm afraid it will continue for a few more days. As loathsome as it is, I have no intention of stopping it. But of course I am able to calm the skies. They belong to my domain, after all. Such a feat of might and magic is well within my power, but one must exercise degrees of caution when asserting control over the forces of nature. Every action results in a reaction, and at times it is better to leave events to play out on their own. This is one of the core rules of magic, for there is no power without sacrifice. You seem a bit lost. Perhaps a demonstration will cast some light upon the subject. Look at my clothes, how they cling to my body, heavy with rain. You're looking intensely, my treasure. I would imagine you are quite enamored with this lesson. Normally, a change of clothes would be in order, and enticing as that sounds, for the purpose of an example, there is a rather simple spell many magical novices learn that, among other things, is used mostly to familiarize oneself with the feeling of casting, to make known and feel out the natural pathways within the body that magic flows through in order to manifest it in the form of a spell. This application of the spell will be to quickly dry and clean both clothing as well as the body of the caster. Watch closely, treasure. First, you make this sign with your hand, with the ring finger and thumb tucked in. Eventually, with practice, you will be able to do this without using your hands. Next, channel your magic into a thin sheet just outside of your skin. Do you see the slight shimmer in the air there? Yes. And then you gently lift up. Just like that. All clean again. It is a simple trick, as I have said, but one should not underestimate its usefulness. Beyond its purpose of training magical pathways, It is quite a valuable tool to have at your disposal. Being able to freshen up quickly is quite useful in many social settings, from diplomatic meetings, grand galas, assassinations, or simply cleaning up after a vigorous night in the bedchambers. I certainly could have used it in our amorous rendezvous. However, you tend to leave very little to clean up. There is hardly even a drop wasted. How greedy of you, my treasure. But that makes you such a good boy. Cleaning up so dutifully and savoring every second of it. I wonder if you end up enjoying yourself more than I do. We can explore that theory at a later time. For now, let's start you down the path of trying this spell for yourself. But of course, all this explaining was to create the framework of what can be expected, not to embellish such a simple trick as being anything more than that. As I've told you, my treasure, you are not my prisoner. You are here through your own free will, and you belong to me as long as you desire to. And what kind of ruler would I be to not ensure that you prosper? Of the bounty of perks and finery that I provide, from the simply ravishing clothing you wear, to the divine comforts that you enjoy here, the greatest boon of all is something much more simple than all of these grand gestures, but its importance cannot be understated. An education, my treasure, a willingness to learn, is the foundation of a successful life, and it is that foundation I wish to lay for you. With that in mind, a working knowledge of magic can dramatically increase your options for the future. So, let us begin, shall we? Excellent. Your eagerness pleases me. To start, before we go about casting magic with abandon, I must get a sense of your latent connection with it. That is correct. All creatures can channel magic to some extent, but the level to which they do varies widely. Some races possess a more natural inclination towards it, while others do not. My kind, for example, are usually in the highest of tiers, while humans can vary from the lowest to the highest tiers. The simplest way to find out one's latent connection is through a flame test. A simple affair. Manifest a flame in one's hand and concentrate on it. Pass your magic through it. Eventually, the flame will change color, depending on the connection it senses. The warmer colors, reds and yellows, signal a low to normal connection, as the flame does not change terribly, while colors like greens and light blues are above average. And finally, colors such as blues and purples are high-tier connections, and typically mean that the person is quite naturally adept at magic. To demonstrate, I will summon a bit of flame here in my hand and do the test myself. before passing it off to you. Watch carefully, treasure. Hold the flame close to the chest, like this, and focus. Let your magic flow into it. Change and make yourself known. There, just like that. A delightful purple color, marking me as high-tier connection. This is to be expected in my case, however, being a dragon after all. Now it is your turn, treasure. Hold out your hand, and I shall pass the flame to you. Don't be afraid. Take control of it. The heat will not touch your flesh, so long as you will it not to. There. Not so scary, is it? Now, hold it close, concentrate, and let yourself flow. Don't get discouraged if you don't get it right away. It can sometimes take a few attempts to properly... What? By the seasoned smith. Am I seeing this correctly? Could it be my treasure? Your high-tier connection. Very high, as a matter of fact. Such a deep purple color. It might even be deeper than my own. I'm stunned. You are an honest, natural channeler of magic. How, by the will of the gods, you are stuck tending fields in a village is beyond even my knowledge. Humans like you are so rare that I could count the ones I've seen in my exceptionally long life on one hand, and still have many fingers left over. You must have been channeling magic subconsciously all your life, without even knowing. I knew you were unique the moment I laid my eyes upon you, when you first climbed my mountain. But I must admit, I had no idea you were this special. The things you are capable of, my treasure. Perhaps it was fate that we met. Indeed, I am the only teacher in 1,000 miles that could properly train you. I believe even the mages of Anthem would have a hard time properly teaching you. Amazing things await you, treasure. With proper guidance, you will be capable of most anything. It's such a shame I had not found you sooner. A few years earlier, and you would be a force to be reckoned with. But there is little use in agonizing over such things. You have impressed me, more than you already have, my treasure. To think that you were living right beneath my sight the entire time, until that stormy night, not unlike this one, where you climbed my mountain and stood before me. Such a rare human that makes that journey. And now I see how you might have been able to bear it. My treasure, come to me. I desire your taste on my lips fiercely. I see you stirring, my dearest one. Have you finally been wrested from the clutches of sleep? Welcome back to the waking world, my treasure.
treasure. I trust that you rested well then. It appears that you spent quite a bit of time within my libraries, and your eyes became too heavy to stay open. Imagine my surprise to hear the sound of light snoring echoing down the halls, following it until I see you passed out with a stack of books all around you. It was quite the sight, I assure you. So, instead of leaving you to rest in such an uncomfortable position, I simply moved you to a nearby room where you could rest a bit on the fainting couch. I have also brought you some food and wine to regain a bit of energy if you so desire them. You certainly have been quite busy, have you not? I'm quite impressed that you managed to have the wherewithal to get up and study after last night. After such a lively performance, I thought you would be hiding away under the covers of my bed for quite some time. Yet, I am proud to see that you mustered the strength to rise as the climbing sun does. Though, I must admit, there is a small part of me that feels disappointed. There is a certain level of pride one can take in reducing their partner to such a state where they can feel naught but the echoes of pleasure as they drift past the veil into the dreaming world. Alas, I dare not complain after the nights we spent entertaining ourselves during the maelstrom. A storm of bladed gales and fangs of light guided by an elemental fury. Yet it amounted to nothing within our chambers. Flesh, bearing the heat of passion, prevented the icy jaws of the wind from finding any purchase. The flashes of lightning seemed dim in comparison to the shine of sweat upon your skin, leaving delicious, glimmering trails running down your body. Thunder itself, a whisper against the drum of your heart, and drowned out entirely by the sweetness of your voice. It seems that the elements themselves could not overwhelm the evenings we spent together, and they were foolish to try. You're blushing, my treasure. Do the images of those nights still yet remain in your mind? And the ache of your body, and the remains of a much sweeter feeling that it had before, and will most definitely have again. Such a delightful hue across your cheeks. One would think that you have become accustomed to the open interest that I have for you. Yet you still fidget, so adorably when my attention is upon you. This flushed and flustered part of you excites me in so many ways. The feeling of a conquest yet to be taken as your face blooms with warmth when I raise your chin, hearing your breath quicken a bit when your eyes meet mine, and the way that your body falls limply into pleasure with but a simple kiss. In all the ages I've lived through, there are few experiences that have struck me the way that feeling your lips upon my own does. It is that most precious thing. Both men and dragon yearn for it, yet so few manage to find it. Have you a guess at what that might be, my treasure? I see you are still a bit out of sorts, still not fully awake for riddles just yet. I apologize. I do not mean to mock you. I am simply taken with how the light shines so delicately in your eyes. The way they sparkle so brightly is truly a divine blessing the heavens have bestowed upon this humble world-bearer. It fills me with, coincidentally, the answer to my question: contentment. A rare thing indeed, yet so plentiful when you are near. For such a thing, I am willing to share the wealth of the earth and the bounty of knowledge that I have amassed throughout my life. A paltry sum by all amounts in comparison to you, my treasure. I am not easily impressed, and yet, how is it that you continue to surpass any expectations that I have of you? A natural talent for magic, with an inquisitive mind, so hungry for knowledge, not to mention being a delight to the eyes. How could any dragon not have interest in such an enticing mortal? You know, it has become quite hard to focus on my duties with such a man nearby, especially one that someday might even become my equal. The thought carries such delicious feelings, ones that I cannot help but indulge in. Oh, my treasure, what things you do to me, but I can do plenty back. Come to me, dearest one. I desire the soft touch of your kiss. Not as tired as you let on, my treasure. With all of this vigor, I wonder how sleep managed to pry you from your studies. As pleased as I am that you are finding some use with my collection, they are, in fact, for reading and not for napping on. Oh, it's quite all right. As a teacher, I feel no frustration towards a curious mind. I only wish to be more involved in your schooling, a bit more hands-on. And now that we have some time, I do believe that we can do just that. While I was moving you, I could not help but take a look at the books you have chosen to entertain yourself with. Historical atlases, bestiaries, and folklore from far-off lands. It would seem that you have a fascination with the world outside these mountains. I wonder, is it perhaps a long-standing wanderlust that you are finally able to indulge in? You must have spent no small amount of time laying in your fields after a hard day's work and daydreaming about what lies just beyond the horizon, wondering what sights awaited if only you had the means to seek them. That desire for adventure affects every mortal from time to time, I suppose. That primal need that the stuff of legends are born from. It would seem that it simply isn't in your nature to remain stagnant for too long. And you have been confined for quite some time. While I am personally delighted to see that you have chosen to take this time to educate yourself within my libraries, I can see that you are becoming restless. Alas, my treasure, I cannot give you the means to wander and see the world just yet. Only cultivate that desire within you. I am bound to this place, and I cannot leave it just yet. The wellspring has chosen me to bear this responsibility once again and reincarnate into this world to add yet another lifetime of experiences to my very soul, as decreed by the Enclave of Embers. I am the rightful ruler of this land, and it is by my hand that I reshape this realm into what it is meant to be. This is my solemn duty as a world bearer. As a world bearer, and millennia from now, when my work is finished, I will stand atop my mountain and feel my chest swell with such pride. Until then, however, I regret that I can only give you my best when you deserve so much more. Nevertheless, I have endeavored to make my domain quite the marvel of nature. While far from finished, it is truly a special place. I think that some time outside will do you well. A chance to stretch your wings, so to speak, or whatever the human equivalent would be. Legs, I suppose. With that in mind, I have decided to extend an invitation to you, a chance to accompany me my duties within the realm. Now that the maelstrom has removed itself from my lands, there is much work to do, and I do not enjoy the idea of leaving you here on your own for days at a time. Not when I could fill a desperate need of yours. Perhaps there will even be a few chances to apply some of the magical skills that you have been learning as well. Understanding the principles behind spellcraft is important, but any emerging mage must know the value of a more practical application as well. And afterwards, once all of the work is finished, of course, we could spend some time out there together. Think of it as a little adventure of our own before returning to the lair once again. A practice run for adventures yet to come. Do you enjoy the sound of that, my treasure? I thought you might. Your eyes are alight with excitement. What an adorable sight. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, there is a bit of preparation that must be done first. Some dependable equipment can be the difference between life and death within the Bronze Tops, as well as the world as a whole, for those who choose the Wanderer's life. One must carefully consider what is needed before a journey is undertaken. What skills and gear would suit the situations you are likely to find yourself in? For example, the air is growing colder with the approach of the winter solstice, and as you are well aware from your own experiences, winter's kiss can quickly become a bite if you are unprepared, and I would prefer to be the only one who gets to bite you. The grounds and cliffs are also quite slick with the passage of the storm. One should take care to have proper footing at all times, or, better yet, some capacity for flight. Not to mention the other dangerous wildlife and environmental hazards, necessitating some manner of armor or natural resistances to damage. Now, where do you suppose we could find such a suitable collection of items on such short notice? Well, I personally would recommend this set of garments. Closer to the tunics and trousers that you would be used to, but woven with a much better eye for material. This enchanted garment was crafted with the hide of a griffin that lived in the peaks high above the clouds. Come close, my treasure. See the markings of the leather here. They tell the story of the hunt, all of the trials and tribulations faced in order to slay this magnificent creature. The hunter tracked the beast for nearly half a year over the tundra and glaciers, following the small hints it left behind. Using all of his skills to follow the small hints it left behind, he scaled the craggy peaks ever higher until breaking through the top of the clouds. From atop the mountains, the hunter spied his quarry, and using all of the skills cultivated over a lifetime, the beast was slain. In that time, the hunter had come to respect the beast, and thus decided not to let any piece of it go to waste. Its hide, feathers, bones, and even spirit were used to create this set of armor, and the respect that the hunter had for the beast all those years ago persists to this very day, carried within its very own stitching. It is a rare act of courage and reverence, one that made it worthy of a place within my collection. And now, that story continues with you, as I pass its ownership into your hands. This will keep you very warm and adequately protected. The magics that are present within it are also quite handy, though I do admit that perhaps I was simply curious about how you might look in it. Rather dashing, I would imagine. Oh yes, I can practically see it now. A visage to match my own brilliance. When one flies as a god does, it is only natural to be dressed appropriately. Well, of course we're going to fly. It's much faster than simply walking through my domain, as there is treacherous terrain that would make that a time-consuming process otherwise. Much simpler to avoid it entirely. Does that not sound wonderful to you, my treasure? You have an interesting look on your face. Eager, yet I notice a sense of nervousness. Could it be that you have not flown before? No experience in riding? Well, that cannot stand. Perhaps we should improve your sense of balance a bit before the real thing. And I know just the way. It would seem that the winds are quite favorable today. They have quieted their maddening howl into a more gentle breeze, like a loving caress from the air. I see nothing that would impede our flight to any notable degree. No ill cloud or lingering current in the wind. Ideal weather to spread one's wings and enjoy the bliss of flight without the bothersome trappings that the rainy season brings. I truly could not have asked for a better day to share with him. Though the ground is flooded and there is much work to be done, the skies are clear, and the day bursting with possibility. In times like this, I offer my gratitude to the seasoned smith, and hope that his skilled hands have crafted a wondrous summer for all to behold. I can only hope, then, that my selfish desire
to witness the sight of the sun sparkling in treasure's eyes is also fulfilled. What a sight that would be. Speaking of a sight, I see you have managed to pry yourself from the iron grip of the bed. Good morning, my treasure. I hope you found the breakfast I had prepared to your liking. I do not consider myself a chef by any means, but thankfully, my domain offers many delectable treats to those who know where to look for them. After all, it would be rude of me to leave your needs unsatisfied after your extensive lessons last night. As delightful as reminiscing about those events are to me, I must say there's an unmistakable allure to you now. You cut quite the dashing figure in that armor. The furs and leathers of the griffin were truly made to adorn you. A majestic beast, whose parts not only crafted a fine suit of enchanted armor, but also complement your form perfectly. If I am being honest, as delightful as you are to behold in this armor, more than anything, I am pleased that its tale continues with you, my treasure. The Griffin's glide armor has had many owners and has seen much. I am certain that you will add yet another chapter to its history, and I have a sneaking suspicion that yours might yet be the greatest it has ever seen. However, before we get lost in visions of the future, perhaps we are better served with concerning ourselves with today's events. Back on the topic of the day, there is no doubt some damage to my domain suffered by the bluster and icy rain of the maelstrom. It will take time to heal, days at least, and the thought of leaving you here on your own within the lair is uncomfortable. If you recall, I offered an invitation for you to accompany me. That way we may tackle multiple issues all at once. I get to spend time with you and keep you close to me, and you get opportunities to practice the more practical applications of magic within the field, alongside the benefits of getting out of the lair for a while and enjoying nature. From your expression, I see you are excited to take part in this trip, are you not, treasure? It is bound to be an enjoyable time at least. And the best part is that you will not need to walk there on foot. Not while you have my wings to rely on. Speaking of which, since you are already dressed and ready for the trip ahead, I suppose I should do the same and adopt a form that is more fitting. My true form. Stand back, my treasure. I'll be needing a fair amount of room to assume it. Yes, that should do nicely. Now, if you'll allow me, I'll slip into something a bit more comfortable.
There's truly nothing more comfortable than your true form. The utility that the size of your kind allows is convenient for some things, yet I found them so terribly cramped. Much better to be able to stretch my body naturally, without it being so compressed. Though, I find the form that I take quite enjoyable, even attractive, despite the fact that it only allows for a fragment of my magnificence to shine through. Do you not think so, treasure? You're staring. Have words escaped you? Are you awestruck at the sight of my brilliance? It has been some time since you've seen my true form. Not since our first meeting, if I recall. I wonder how you feel right now, as your very own eyes see the splendor of a draconic form. Tell me, do the grand tales and songs of your people, told for generations, not fall utterly short once you have the pleasure of witnessing the legend in the flesh? I thought so. You should have pride, my treasure, for today you will join that legend as you soar above the clouds and experience the flight that only those who sit as kings of the world may hope to achieve. Yet, before you fly as the gods do, I believe it would be beneficial for you to take some time to understand my form a bit better. You have already experienced my humanoid form quite extensively, but my true form has remained foreign to you. Well, no longer. Come to me, my treasure. You are the first in many centuries to have permission to approach me while in my true form. I do hope you understand the privilege that you are being given. Oh, good. Now, don't be shy. Come closer. Drink in every minute detail. I wonder what catches your eye first. The shine of my scales that flow like liquid silver and gleam so brightly in the light. My wings that command the winds and put the thunder to shame with but a simple movement. My claws, honed and sharpened to a point that I could demolish this mountain if I so desired. Or perhaps you linger on my coat, its luxury plain even to the naked eye, such beauty contained in soft, voluminous fur that wreathes my form in exquisite finery that is beyond a mortal's ability to measure. Don't be afraid, my treasure. Come, touch me. Enjoy the wondrous feeling of a true dragon. delightful, is it not? Such softness puts mundane silk to shame, yet underneath there lie scales that protect from all but the most powerful blows. It is certainly a unique feeling to experience. Yet, I sense a feeling of familiarity within you as your hands touch my body. Could it be? Tell me, treasure, this isn't the first time you have touched the fur of a dragon, is it? Excuse you. I am rarely ever mistaken, but I believe I just heard you ask if I was jealous. Me. I am Arsenex, the warden in silver. The sun blushes at my brilliance. The mountain shakes in awe of my power. The wind and the river pale in comparison to my grace. Truly, I stand above all. To be jealous, I would have to have a superior, and I am beneath no one. I am king. You're laughing. What is the meaning of this? You've felt dragon fur before. In a blanket. What? Cease this smirk across your beautiful face, treasure. I demand an explanation for this. Yes, of course. A dragon's fur is a remarkably warm insulator. Mine especially, because of the high altitude that I dwell in. Do not think that that small smile that tugs at the corner of your mouth eludes me, treasure. Continue, if you would. Excuse me. Your village collects my fur. That is... what? And they weave it into other fabrics to make blankets to use in their homes. You jest, surely. My fur being collected from the very treetops I fly over and use for such a utilitarian purpose. It cannot be. No. Your eyes do not lie. Ugh, mortals. Seems that they get stranger every century. Must you snicker at me in this moment, treasure? I have just learned some quite disturbing news. But of course they are good blankets. They are aspects of myself after all. But the quality is not what gives me pause. Putting that informative bit of conversation aside, preferably forever, I believe it is time for us to begin our preparations for flight. Here, I shall lower myself a bit, climb up using my leg, and find a place to sit upon my back. I would suggest the area behind my spines. You can hold on to them well, and brace your legs along the spot where my wings begin. It should be quite the comfortable space for one of your size. Have you settled in well enough, my treasure? Excellent. Be sure to brace your legs. I would prefer to keep you on my back where you can be safe. But in the event that you should fall, then your armor will keep you safe. Did you think I picked that particular set simply because I knew it would look good on you? No. The item you wear is capable of many things, chief among them being a few enchantments that gift some aspects of a griffin to its wearer. You'll find that your sense of sight is sharpened, and distance does not muddy detail for you quite as much. There is also an array of automatic spells that will trigger should you fall too far. All are useful, but there will be time to show you in a bit more detail. For now, hold tight. It will be a bit rough at first when I take off, but once we are in the air, the flight will be much smoother. Brace yourself, treasure, for today you fly with the gods. I never tire of this feeling. A dragon is truly himself when he has wind beneath his wings and sunlight upon his scales. The sense of freedom that can only be experienced by flight, and a dragon's flight is second to none. Have you noticed by now, my treasure, that you don't need to strain to hear my voice, or that the feeling of wind is not as strong as it should be for moving this quickly? Under normal circumstances, you would very well have been blown off without special equipment. Yet, with this, you have a smooth and comfortable ride. One of the first things a dragon learns to do after flying is to bend the currents of air in front of him to fly more efficiently and without the force of wind slowing him down. It is a helpful trick, and has helped my kind in the past when things have been more turbulent. In this moment, you fly higher than even the wyvern riders of your people, tasting true freedom from the shackles of the ground, and scraping the very bounds of heaven. You need not worry about a thing. Open your eyes and look down upon my domain. See the land as I do. Magnificent, isn't it? Yet I have found that the true prize of this land lays beyond one's ability to see. Focus and clear your mind. You might feel it, that gentle buzz in the back of your neck. That is the magic that permeates all around you. The natural force of the world, suffused into the shaded forests of the lowlands, the ever-stretching glens, and the mighty river that feeds it all. This place and all others are alive. They breathe and grow just as you and I do. Every blade of grass and gust of wind is part of the greater whole. And like a person, it suffers damage occasionally. Even now you see it with your own eyes. But it is not a sad thing. Life was lost, yes, but gained in equal measure. The deadfall will decay and nourish new life, and the waters will recede and enrich the soil. It is a harsh lesson to learn, but destruction and creation, you will find, are more closely interwoven than you might think. They are often merely a transition into something that was not before. We are nearly at our first stop. Can you see it below? Yes, that area of broken timber and flooded plains there. It seems that the damage sustained was particularly harsh. It requires our attention. Hold on tightly, my treasure. The descent can be rough at times, but rest assured, you will reach the ground safely. Are you well, my treasure? How have you enjoyed your first taste of flight? Well, it is a rare thing for a human to experience such perfected flight. Take care in stepping down, treasure. Try not to fall into the mud. You have flown in a way that many of the wyvern riders of the bronze tops can only dream of, and the wonders that you will see today are only the beginning. But before beauty can be witnessed, it must be nourished. Look upon this place. The once verdant green is scattered with the drowned saplings of the forest's youngest, as well as the older trees. Those that were not strong enough to withstand the wind were broken, while those that could not rise above the water now lay beneath it, struggling for breath. A cruel consequence brought on by the simple passage of time. Yet, even the lucky few are not spared of hardship just yet. The rain has flooded the low grounds until there was nowhere to go but up. The roots of this place are being drowned. The risk of greater damage is high, though I hope my worries do not become true. But hoping is not enough. It must inspire action. If you are committed to prosperity, then you must seize it and bring the full bear of your will behind it until it is made a reality. If we are to see this forest prosper once more, then something must be done about the rain that floods the grounds. This is the perfect opportunity to practice all that you have learned in our lessons, in a low-risk but still challenging environment. Our plan of attack is simple. There lies an excess of water in this area,
so naturally it must be removed. Normally it would be best to spread it out as much as possible, as not to waste it. But this land has already had its fill. So, we are going to go a step further and remove it from the land entirely by evaporating it into the skies. You seem taken aback, my treasure. I wonder, what has warranted this reaction? Perhaps it is a difficult task in the eyes of an average human, but you are far from average. Worry not. I will guide you in this endeavor and lift a fair share of it on my own, though I refuse to do all of it for you. After all, the measure of power is being able to reach and overcome one's limits. Doubt is a poison to ambition, an easy way out of reaching your potential. I do not wish to see it cloud you, so I will help you whenever doubt drags at your feet. You have incredible potential, my treasure. If you believe nothing else, then believe that. Now, will you lend me your strength and help to ease the burden of this land? Well said. Your words carry a power all their own. Now, let us put them into action. This type of magic is simple in theory, the very foundations of the school of transmutation, manipulation of matter from one state to another. I have always found it immensely powerful, should one take the time to master it. Turning water into steam is one application of this magic. Imagine transmuting the tops of mountain ranges into rivers of molten lava, or ionizing the air into bolts of lightning. One could hardly imagine a better skill set for a world-bearer, and it proved to be quite advantageous during the times in our history when dragons have yet to claim that title, when we fought against the primal elementals known as the Colossus, great titans of the land and skies, masters of earth, fire, and metal, and their counterparts that claimed the oceans and dark abyss under the waves, leviathans of wind, water, and lightning. These beings are all but extinct now, hunted down by my kind at the behest of the gods, so they might reshape this world to their liking. Yet, dragons decided to take their place as caretakers, for the world must always be protected and nurtured, just as we are about to do. You are about to become a part of a long tradition, my treasure. Now, it is time to play your part. The water must be drawn up from under the ground, so it may be safely changed into vapor. We shall split the duties. You shall force the water to the surface, and I will transmute it. I will do what I can to guide you, but you must test yourself. Now, close your eyes and open yourself. Feel that same buzz at the back of your neck. Feel the earth beneath your feet and slip further and further down into it. You feel the presence of water, do you not? It is cool and refreshing to the senses, the essence of life.
as none can exist without it. Yet, it can do no more good here. Grasp it, feel its motion as it ebbs and flows, sloshing about as if in an earthen pot. Move alongside it, steadily replacing its motion with your own, until it flows with your touch. And do not rush, my treasure. Make sure your hold is firm. Very good. Now steadily move it upwards, through the earth, retracing the steps you took to get there, and the water will follow. You are in control. You simply need to tell it what to do. You are nearly there, treasure. Don't hold back. Never falter. You feel it breaking the surface. Maintain your control of the water. The rest will follow the path that you have set. Now, open your eyes and look upon the fruits of your labor. Marvelously done, treasure. You've done this all on your own. I didn't need to assist you at all, beyond words. It seems that you have a talent for water manipulation. A fine skill indeed. Hydromancy is as powerful as it is versatile. You have done wonderfully, but now it is my turn to do some lifting. Pay close attention. Turning water into steam does not take much energy, so it will go quickly, especially so with my considerable power. Alai naru iksamisi. And that is all there is to it. A simple action that will be beneficial to this area in the long run. The trees that survive will have a much better chance of growing now, though they are not unaffected by the heat produced by vaporizing water close to them. It is regrettable, but as I told you before, there is no power without sacrifice. We have done all that we can here. Come along, my treasure. It is time for us to move on. Oh, my treasure, it is such a delight to the eyes to see you up and wandering about. Are you enjoying a walk under the night's veil, taking in the sights and sounds of these new surroundings? The allure of exploration calling to the last dregs of your energy. Or could it be that my absence from your sight was just too much to bear, and you rushed to be at my side once again? Oh, my treasure, how you flatter me with the truth. Well, since you have found me, Why don't you come join me? The water is just perfect tonight. Its wonderful scents and steams work in tandem to unwind the burdens of the day. Please, won't you unburden yourself and step into the pool? As picturesque as this bath is, it could do with one final delight. You undress without hesitation. It pleases me to see that you recognize that you have no need of something as vapid as shame. A masterful work of art does not feel it, and nor should it. And you are indeed art, my treasure. A beauty without apology. Well, as satisfying as it is to see you this way, stripped bare for perusal, I don't believe you'll be satisfied with merely standing at the edge. So, shall you partake of these fine waters with me? A fine choice indeed. Though, I imagine I could have persuaded you to come in other ways. It is simply a divine feeling, is it not? I have long since carved out many additional layers throughout my domain, to be used at my own convenience when my duties demand that I stay in certain areas. While this lair pales in comparison to the grand beauty of my main one, I am quite fond of it, nevertheless. It is here in these ancient boughs that I have crafted a most splendid retreat. These woods have been woven by my own hands over many centuries to form a shelter of living trees, never cut or damaged in any way, merely influenced by my own power, as all things are. These trees are tall and ancient enough to scrape the bounds of the sky, and roots that run just as deep. They carry the scent of flowering plants upon the wind, gentle and pure. I am especially fond of the fireflies that call this place their home, lighting the dark with their hypnotic dance. And at the center of it all, a natural spring bubbles from the earth. Its water is beautiful as liquid moonlight, heated just enough for tails of steam to curl up in such a tantalizing manner. After a long day of work tending to the land, there is no better reward one can enjoy than to sink their bodies into the soothing waters of an open-air bath. Truly, it is a spoil unlike any other. It is such a wonder that through all of the ages past, in all of the lifetimes I have lived, that such a simple pleasure evokes a profound feeling in my soul. It is in places like this that one can truly unwind. Yet, as relaxing and refreshing as it is, I wonder if you are in need of more specialized forms of recovery. You've pushed yourself today, and while you have carried it well, repeated exertion of the body with the continual use of magic can be incredibly taxing, even to one with your reserves. Even to one with your reserves. It is a special type of fatigue, one that wears on the soul. However, I happen to be quite knowledgeable in a more effective way to recuperate it. One that is both relaxing and delightfully pleasurable. Has that piqued your interest, my treasure? Your eyes have brightened ever so slightly. The allure of pleasure at my hands stirs something within you, does it not? I wonder where your mind has gone. Indeed. Though what I propose is not our usual way of seeking pleasure, though I never take that off the table with you, my treasure. How I crave for us to indulge in each other's bodies, intertwining together to sweet satisfaction. Alas, this is the time for recovery, putting aside my desire to exhaust you further. For now, I wish for nothing more than to help you relax. And the best way to do that, one that I have carefully cultivated over many centuries, is a massage. A deep, penetrating massage does wonders for the body, and with the addition of a little healing magic, the process will also rejuvenate your magical pathways. Two types of fatigue vanquished for the efforts of one. That does sound rather delightful, does it not? It does appeal to you, my treasure, though I wonder how much of that interest is merely in the massage, rather than the satisfaction my touch brings. Come then, allow me to pamper you for all of your hard work today. You need not leave the warm embrace of the springs. Its waters will help the process. Simply rest yourself against the edge and turn your back to me. Yes, treasure. Just like that. It is always such a treat to see your back. How fascinating it is to watch the muscles flex and move with every breath that you take. Yet, I imagine feeling them will be so much more enjoyable for the both of us. Now, where to start? It seems that everywhere on your body is in need of some attention. Yet, I think I'll start with the shoulders. They do look so burdened. Yes. So tense indeed. I can feel the tightness under my fingers. Ah, my treasure. How the day seems to have weighed on you, written so plainly on your body. Though it is an ache that was hard won, I must commend you for the simply astonishing progress you have made. The way that you handle magic is nothing short of inspiring. With just a bit of practical training, you can already draw water from underneath the ground, moving it as if it were part of your own body. It seems that you have an aptitude for water-based magics. Quite the useful skill. There are many versatile applications that you may learn. Perhaps when we return to the main lair, we can explore some more complementary magics. Alas, I'm sure the last thing you want to think about while you are relaxing is more study. Be at ease, my treasure. Enjoy the simple feeling of your muscles being kneaded and untangled. Feel the fatigue drifting away, lost to these warm waters. There you are. Excellent. Your body is unwinding, all of the tension being released. I'm onto your back. Keep focused on your breathing, deep and slow. Match it with the feeling of my hands pressing into you. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Yes, just like that. Do you not feel the strength within you returning, bit by bit? This place, the old growth, is a place of power. Magic permeates all around it. It's in the soil, in the air. If you close your eyes and open your mind, you might be able to feel it swell. Do you feel it? The heartbeat of magic drumming from the deep. The land breathing new life into magic, fueling you. You will always remember this feeling. It is the final gift of a slain colossus that calls this land its grave. It was a fascinating creature. Even after so many reincarnations, I can still remember it clearly. A thing of gnarled wood and earth that sprouted forests as it walked, seeding these mountains with its sheddings. This titan, the crawling arboretum, as it came to be known, was slain in this very spot millennia ago by my kind. It has lain dead for such a long time, and yet its magic persists, just as potent as it was in life. It was a marvelous thing. The world will never know something quite like that again. Perhaps it's out of respect for such a being that I have molded the old growth into a home of sorts. A beautiful garden with I as its faithful warden. My treasure, why do your beautiful eyes fall? Does the topic of home bring a feeling of longing within you? Does your mind wander to simpler times in that little lowland village? How often I found you standing atop the cliffs, peering through the horizon, trying to see the flicker of lights in that little town that you were raised in. I've often wondered where your mind goes in those quiet moments. The friends, family, and other loved ones you've made throughout your life. Do their faces come to your mind in those silent hours of the day? Do you miss miss them, my treasure. I see. You've carried such a burden. I owe you an apology, treasure. I should have given you a chance to resolve your past before running headlong into plans for your future. You deserve the opportunity to properly seek some closure for the hole that you carry in your heart, as do those who do not know what glory has awaited you. And they should know of your magnificence as I do, and know that you are alive and safe. It is decided then. We will take a detour from our scheduled route and make for your village in a few days. But of course, my treasure, if such a thing will ease your mind, then it will be done. Such is my promise to you. Of course, I will be accompanying you there in a more subdued form, of course. I find myself excited at the prospect. I wonder what has changed since last I was there. It's been centuries since I stepped foot in that village. It was a long time ago by mortal standards, and I doubt that there are any alive who even remember that date. Perhaps, if the chance arises, you would be so kind as to show me around. I am a king, but even I will allow a fine gentleman to take my arm and escort me through town. And I see no finer gentleman than you, my treasure. Come to me. Ah, that massage has worked wonders, hasn't it? You are certainly bursting with energy now, worked up over a simple kiss. What naughty thoughts were you having, my treasure? While my hands roamed your body, could it be that you were hoping for something more? Did you want to be bent over the edge of the pool, presenting yourself to me in all of your tantalizing glory? Your blush says more than words will ever be able to express. So, do it then. You're already in position for it. So show me how much you want me. Good morning, my treasure. I see that you've finally managed to pry yourself from the merciless silken grasp of the bedsheets. Though it seems that the dreaming world has claws in you yet. How breathtaking you are in this moment, my treasure, combating the call of dreams with naught but bleary eyes and messy morning hair. There truly are fewer sights of you that stirs such roiling passion within me than how you appear here and now, primal, raw, the inherent, unmistakable beauty of an uncut gemstone. Oh, my treasure, if only time would allow, then I would devour you all over again, here and now, in the light of the rising sun. Oh, how the sounds of our union would thunder through these mountains, echoing to the heavens above. What a delightful thought to entertain. Alas, we have already had quite the fulfilling night, sensual and exhausting as it was. Once again, you've shattered my expectations of you, and though I crave you, it is the wise man who delves into lust with some measure of moderation. And besides, it wouldn't do for something more precious to be shattered, would it, Ryder? So, use this time to rest, my treasure. It is a gift for all of your hard work. Come, sit with me a moment, right here upon the cliff's edge. You are a bit late to enjoy the sun rising in its totality, but the view is beautiful nonetheless. It is from the places that nearly touch the clouds that the cleanest smelling air is abundant. Isn't that right, my treasure? Every breath is crisp, cold, rejuvenating, with the taste of cherry blossoms lingering on the tongue. Ah, such a delicate and sweet taste. It bears memories of a home before my mountain. You have learned this in your studies, do you remember? The Enclave of Embers, that conclave of dragons and mortals upon this world. They plant these trees in areas they settle and claim as their own. And in time, over decades and centuries, they spill their delicate petals of pink and red upon the breeze, spreading new seeds to find purchase and flourish. A physical representation of our borders ever expanding. I forget, dearest one, that you have not yet had the chance to explore the world. Perhaps one day I might show you the white gold hills and lavish temples of the Enclave, where my kind first touched this world with wing and claw. Alas, that trip is for another time. For now, we are traveling the path ever closer to your home, my treasure, towards where the banner of your people paint the skies. I wonder, how has that place changed from last I saw it? Treasure, your posture has changed, shoulders slumping like a wilted bud, and there is a deep conflict scribed across your wonderful face. My dearest one, what shades the brilliance of your heart? What dares to trouble you so? Is it the thought of your home that ails you? You are nervous to see them again. I see. So often you stood on the high points of my lair, straining your eyes to catch a glimpse of something familiar, as if navigating by distant stars. And now, and we stand upon the threshold, closer to being able to see your banner than ever before, the prospect becomes truly real. So often you spoke of home, your eyes alight with memories of joy and growth. Oh, treasure, once again, I am shown a burden you carry, and owe you an apology for my blindness to it. You are kind to forgive this so easily. Don't feel as if you cannot demand satisfaction from me. I would do most anything to curry your favor again. But a supportive shoulder in a time of need may often provide a way to balance, if it is accepted. I have taught you so much, but now is the time for me to learn. Speak to me, treasure. You have mentioned your kin to me before. A large household, though you were an only child. But hardly alone, if I recall. Well supplied your family was. Parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles, and with cousins abundant. I imagine it was quite the chaotic household at times. Your kin were hearthkeepers, yes? Ah, it is an old term. Makers of merry and mead, Tavern keeper is the modern word for it, I believe. Pillars of any community. Do you find humor in that? I have often found that mortals treat their alehouses with a sense of reverence, usually reserved for that of a temple. Drink and community, that is the primary export of such a place. A strange thing to value. But to you, it was home, aflush with your fellows. You've never spoken ill of your home, at least not aloud or in body. You were treated well, weren't you, treasure? Ah, it brings me much joy to know that you enjoyed your life there. It is not terribly uncommon for mortals to mistreat those that are different, and that does tend to apply to the magically gifted among them. Many find it difficult to connect with their fellows when they experience the world in such a transcendent way. Ways that you now know through your study, moving in time to the heartbeat of the magical world radiating from within. Do you feel strange about the world now? Uncertain, even? That is to be expected, I suppose. We have talked much about the opportunities that lie open to you as you grow and study, of the heights that are possible with guidance and perseverance. Grandiose and incredible things, to be sure, the stuff that history is weaved from. Yet, it is so easy to forget that beyond all of the radiant, undeniable power and potential that you have, not long ago, you were the son of an alewife, a truly humble beginning. So far away, now that you stand amongst the few mortals that may yet rise above their place in the hierarchy of divinity. It is difficult, I imagine, to reconcile that in such a short time, when the world opens itself, ready for you to explore, understand, or conquer, if you wish. Balance, unfortunately, will not come easy, but it will come. It will only take time and effort. Ah, my treasure, do not let doubt cloud your way, for it is yours to take, or blaze yourself if you wish. You know that your future is very important to me, but it is your happiness that fuels me like no other. Do your best to not forget about the handsome, charming hearthkeeper that started it all, for that brave, regal soul is the stuff that makes you shine ever brighter, my treasure. Mwah. Such a darling creature you are. Now, let us divest ourselves of these silly worries. There is a town that is waiting on its prodigal son's return, and what a return it will be. In any case, there are some preparations to make before we take to the sky, and the both of us could use a little polishing. Come, dearest one. So, you have returned at last, my dearest one. Finally, I was beginning to wonder if I had lost you to the allure of revelry downstairs. The last I saw of it, it was indeed getting quite raucous down below. I suppose you are right, my treasure. It is not every day, or even century for that matter, that a dragon as regal and resplendent as myself graces the village of this very humble banner with his magnificence. Such a gift should be celebrated, especially when the visit is a peaceful one. Especially when the visit is a peaceful one. A king does not sneak into places that he owns. He goes where he pleases, as he pleases. I was not going to come in disguise. These mortals would know who comes to them, who they live under. Besides, I believe that the flow of ale and conversation has smoothed over the initial shock of our arrival, and I have enjoyed speaking with your kin, dearest. It is plain to see where some of your traits have come from. That admirable, hard-working nature and steadfast dedication that you show is echoed in your family. And they have proven to be gracious hosts as well, offering the very best accommodations that they could give. Though I had one room in particular that caught my attention. And now that you've had your fill of a party, you have returned to me, right where you belong, my treasure. I have waited for you, dressed in what I have desired to adorn my body in tonight. Platinum chain and sheer silk. Nothing better to relax in, and it is a delightful feast upon the eyes as well. Such ethereal beauty when they are clad upon my flesh. Don't you agree?
You flatter me with your honesty, and with your lingering eyes as well. It seems that the both of us have found something that appeals to us tonight. But answer me this, my dearest. Do you still feel that sinking pit in your stomach as you did on our journey? Well, a bit better is preferable to not at all. And you should be very proud of your achievements. Do not cheapen your worth, treasure. You are magnificent, precious beyond all worth. Your skill in magic is rivaled only by your beauty and your courage. Oh, my dear, how you shine. How can you have trouble seeing something that is so plain? Then perhaps you need a reminder. I believe that we are overdue for another lesson in magic, don't you? Always so eager to learn. You are so admirable, dearest one. Not to mention, so very alluring. But concentrate for now. Take a deep breath and feel out your magical pathways. Focus on moving the energy around inside. That's it. Such a joy watching you weave. How you find yourself deep within the magic. Swirl it all within your center and radiating outwards. Repeat my words. Shupi Ashganate. Well done. Wonderfully cast, my treasure. I can sense that the effect has taken hold nicely. What spell was it that you cast? It was an intermediate spell, but an oh so delightful one. It allows one to isolate sound into one room while blocking it from being heard outside. A more flexible application than a general silence spell. You feel how this magic is different, don't you? That ever-present load on your arcana. These more intricate spells require active concentration to remain in effect, and a wise mage trains their mind and body to maintain them at all costs. That is the training that you will do tonight, my treasure. Syncretiste cretiste. Focus, treasure. Maintain the spell. Well, of course. This training is all about keeping your concentration. And what training would it be if your resolve was not tested? Surely, having your hands magically bound is not enough to break it. You feel these arcane ropes digging into your skin. Soft and tight, able to be moved in any way that I please. But don't let that stop you from writhing around. You'll be doing plenty of that soon. This training is twofold, my treasure. Punishment and a test of your will. But I must enjoy those lips first, before we get started. Delicious. Continue the spell. I have thought of such wonderful things to do with you. Things to force you to admit about yourself. You will sing your own praises to me tonight, my treasure. And it is your choice whether they are mine alone to enjoy, or if your cries will ring from the rooftops all across this village. Keep the magic flowing, and I will remind you just how special you are.